Welcome back for another Rusty production. Today we're going to try our hand at making some knife tongs. Okay, two quick things before I get started. Number one is we are at 200 subscribers, which is amazing. So thank you so much to everybody who subscribed. I am humbled that you're liking these videos that I'm putting out there. It's fantastic to watch you all comment and actually watch these videos as I bring them out on a weekly basis. For anyone who's not subscribed, I'd love to actually have you join the channel and get a really good idea about the mistakes I'm making on the journey to become from a, I guess, novice to even a beginner blacksmith. So that's number one. So thank you so much. 200 subscribers is amazing. Number two is this video is actually a bit of a failure. It's a failure in one way and not a failure in another. So I'm not going to get to a result in this video. This is going to be a part one. Part two will be coming out ideally next week. But I get a long way down the road and then some mistakes are made, which you're about to see, and I don't quite get to a result. But over the week, I've been able to get back to around about the same place that I was, and I've got a whole bunch of learnings which I'll bring back to next week's video, just to move from the mistakes I learnt to the learnings that I've had. So enjoy the video, and I will catch you next week. As you know, I'm gearing up to be making a whole bunch of knives and things like that. Now, in order to do that, I really need a good set of tongs that can hold that material just right. Now, the material I'm looking to hold, I'll just grab that. It's actually going to be something like that, which is kind of 5mm flat stock. Along this line anyway, similar. So what I'm going to need is to create something that's going to be able to hold and lock onto that. And I've scoured the internet to find a design that suits, and I have found a really unusual one, described as the best knife tongs ever. So we will be the judge of that if I can make something that's even half decent. In order to do that, I'm going to be using a rubbish piece of steel, but it's a thicker piece that I've been used to. So we're using some rebar to do it with. You've seen me do that before, so I know that it will work. And I use the rebar because it's part of my practice to get better at striking so that I can actually shape this into whatever shape I really want. So it's an additional step. I probably would be better to go and get some steel that's just the right type for the purpose that I'm using it for. But as you know, I'm a novice, I'm a beginner, so I need all the practice I can get. So I'm using the time that it takes to actually move this metal to the shape I want to begin with as part of my practice. So let's light up the forge and we'll get started. As I said, I'm just going to clean up the end of this. So I'll take this through a few heats and then I'll come back once it's all cleaned up. I don't need to waste your time on that, but just so you understand, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting rid of this ribbing and either creating, well, I'll probably end up creating some square stock. Okay. So I've squared out the material. Still got some ribbing on it, but we're going to be losing that as we take the next step. I now need to give it a decent amount here, as if I was making a pair of flat stock tongs or flat bit tongs, but they're going to have a longer end. And then I'm actually going to chisel cut in and open it up, kind of like a circle, and then you'll start to see what I'm doing potentially then. But first off, I'll start it just like I would with a normal flat bit set of tongs, but it'll have a fairly long part here. Then we'll create the boss, and then working back into the reins, just like I normally would. So let me get that going first, and then we'll come back. Alright, so that's about where I want it. You can see there's the indent there. Now I've got to heat it back up again and then create the boss here. So that'll be the next step. Alright, 45-degree angle, let's make the boss. Careful, I slip. Heat it up one more time. It's just about there, you can see, but I just want to straighten that part out before I actually finish the end of where that boss is going to be. So you can see we're just about there with this one. I'm going to have to clean up the boss obviously, and but once that's done, that'll be the next step. Once that's done, I'll get a chisel and we'll open up this area and create our loop. But first things first, let me finish this boss. Alright, I'm fairly happy with that for now. You can see there, we've got the boss. That's going to open up a little bit when I punch it through. I'm not drilling it, I'm going to actually punch it. So let's heat this section up through here, see if we can get the chisel in there, and see if we can make ourselves a bit of a mess. We're going to start this chiseling. It doesn't need to be too hot just to make the initial scoring marks. Might start down there though anyway. Keep in the middle. Right, it's looking pretty rough to start, but you can see hopefully that I've got the score marks in there. Now I'll heat it up and I'll try and get through it a little easier. It's very fat, this chisel here, so I'll just start with that and I'll actually use something else to get through it in the end. I think I've got a thinner chisel there somewhere. Well and truly in there now, just going to get through it. So this is the first time I'm trying to split the metal through the middle without actually taking it to the edge. So normally, really careful, I would split the metal so it goes off like that, and so I get to cut it from the top, which allows me to squash the top of it where I'm cutting from. So this time I don't have that, so I'm trying to create this shape. So what I'm going to do, because I don't really have the tools that I need for this one, I'm going to actually use my punch that's got that sort of diamond head on it. And I'm going to use that on either end to just get through the metal, and then I can cut into that with the chisel. So we'll try that out. You know, I don't know what I'm doing, so this is all trial and error. We'll give it a go and see how it does. get to the other side, I'm just going to flip it over as I would with punching a hole and get that other side started. So it's basically there. I don't know if you can see that. I've just sort of completed two ends there, and then I'm going to chisel through the middle. That's going to allow me to not sort of tear any of the metal. And you can see on that side we've got them started here and here as well, so that should work. So we'll heat it up and then we'll hit it really, really hard through here with the chisel and see if we can open that right up. Alright, now I know this is not ideal for what I'm doing, but I'm gonna use it anyway. It's not as hard and steel as I would like. Well, there's a slug out at least. Actually just about there. Gonna get the chisel out. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but this is turning. The anvil just keeps turning around. Yeah, I'll heat that back up before I go any further. The base of my anvil is not 100% steady, so that's why it keeps moving. I'm going to have to do something more permanent. Alright, let's have a crack. It's actually working. See, that's opening up there. Just got to be careful that I don't actually hit this right on the head, and then it will actually work. So. Going to punch through on this other side as well, just to make it as clean as I possibly can. Otherwise it will tear. Beautiful. Right, there's a slug out of the other side. Hopefully you can see that. Yes, you can. Now all I've got to do is bring the slit from here to there, and we have created our eye. Right, we're through. Now I'm going to have to clean all this up. So what I'm going to do is use the horn. I'll hit all this up here, and then we'll start, we'll use the horn to clean it up and then create a loop, ideally.
just heat it up a little bit more, and then I'll bring it back again, and then we can move over to the other side. Alright, so we'll leave it like that for the moment. As you can see there. We're going to go around and do the other side now to get it pretty much where it is on this side as well. Finish off the reins and then we can bring them back together. And then you'll see how I actually go about finishing this so that it's going to hold the sort of steel that we want. Alright, so there's our two sides. They're looking pretty much the way I want them. They're a little bit rough, but that's right, most of the stuff that I do is. There's a little crack that's forming there. I don't know if you can definitely see that. Just got to be careful that that doesn't get any worse. So I might end up welding that at the end, but I've just got to be careful I don't snap it, basically. But now, it's time to lengthen out the reins. I want them a little longer than this, so I'm going to... I'm actually going to thin out through the center there as long as I can fit it on the forge. If I can't fit it on the forge, I'm going to cut it in half and then I'll work it back from there. It's been a little while since I took the last video, so I'm going to have to heat back up the forge again and we will get started. Alright, so we've scored through here. This is where we're going to end the reins. So I'm just going to heat this back up and we're going to taper this back down to cut it. By the way, the shock of this has actually cracked that. So we'll need to weld before I finish. No! It's not just a crack on that side, it's a crack on both sides. Ouch. No! I wonder if I go and make another one of these. But it's a lot of work. Okay, so I'm pretty gutted about that. That took hours. I've still got this side, so I've still got the reins and the tong for that side. I will cut it there, and then I do have an extra bit of stock, but I don't have much else that's the right size, so I can actually create a second one. It's just a lot of rework, and I don't have the patience for that sort of rework. But that's how I get better. So we will do it again, and I'm just not going to do it on this video. I'm going to do a part 2 of this video. We're going to call this a fail, well, a half fail, so that one's not too bad. But on this one, leave comments below if you think that I was on the right track, just needed to be a little bit more gentle with this. I think it was a mishit that actually caused the crack in the first place. Or if there's anything else, any advice of like specifically what you think I did wrong that actually caused that crack, let me know. But if you like the video, if you like seeing the process, if you like seeing the mistakes, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more updates, because with every one of these failures, we also have a success, and that's what you're going to be seeing in the, hopefully the next video. So subscribe for that, and until then, thanks so much for watching.